CEO and founder of MContent. So MContent is a listed company in Dubai, and Mr. Masoom is going to talk about viewers also becoming owners. Can we please have on stage Mr. Umair Masoom, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Can I have the slides, please? No? What? Yeah, okay. Okay, so the topic of my talk today, as you've already heard from the introduction, is what happens when viewers of content actually become owners of content. And I know it sounds like a very crazy idea, but with the space that we are all living in, I believe everything is possible. So I'll start with a few questions from you just to create that engagement. So the first question I want to ask all of you is that what is the biggest problem right now that the global content economy is facing? For producers, for independent filmmakers, what's the biggest problem? What do you think is the biggest problem? Fundraising. That's interesting. Anything else? Anyone else? Yep. You're saying something? I couldn't get that. Okay. So fundraising, yes, correct, but not really fundraising. The biggest problem is centralization. So the founders of the blockchain and the Web3 space, when they created the blockchain and this space, the real reason why this space was created was decentralization. The ability to decentralize an industry and resolve some real gaps that exist. So I'll give you some stats. 99.54% of the scripts every year that are written for TV and web series, they never get funded, which means that these films are never produced. More than 99% of the films produced by independent filmmakers globally, they never make it to a cinema screen. Something more interesting for a lot of people here, because we have lots of YouTubers, more than 99% of the YouTubers, they never get to monetize their content, which means that on YouTube, they never get to the minimum level of monetization, which requires a number of watch hours, which requires a minimum number of subscribers. They never get there. And more than 99% of the film school graduates globally, every year, they end up doing something else. They don't end up doing film, they end up doing something else, end up in alternate careers. So is that a real problem for the blockchain and the space to resolve? I believe so. The next question, what do you think is the single most important factor for the success of any piece of content, any form of content? What's the single most important factor? Anyone raise their hands? Sorry? Quality. You said quality? Legality, okay. Originality, okay. That's interesting. Yeah. We have some really interesting content creators here, like my friends from Arab GT, huge YouTubers. Maybe I'd like to hear from you. What do you think is the biggest success factor for your content? You've got millions of subscribers on your YouTube. Quality, okay. Okay, so originality, quality. Anyone else? Value, brand. Value and demand, yeah. I think this guy gave the right answer, different terminology. For me, the biggest success factor for any piece of content, any form of content globally, is the eyeball, right? Which is the viewer. The viewer defines what is success, and the viewer defines what is failure. It doesn't matter how good you feel you are, you have to attract to that viewer, and eventually it's the viewer who decides. So, coming to my third question. So, what happens when the most powerful force within the content industry, which is the viewer, can become the owners of content? Do you think that's going to solve the centralization problem? Do you guys think so? Yeah? Yeah. So why can't viewers of content become owners of content? We're living in an amazing world. We are living in a world where everything is digitally interconnected. We are believers in the blockchain. We understand the value of Web3. Why can't we look at real world problems? And with all respect to so many of the different projects that we have here, you know, most of them are community-driven projects. I ask this question all the time, that the real strength of the blockchain, this entire space, is to decentralize, to resolve real-world issues, and to create real assets, right? And is there a bigger asset in this world than content? In my opinion, no. The speaker before me, he was talking about, you know, how blockchain can be used to fund assets like real estate, for example. Yes, or real estate, stocks. You know, all of these are high asset classes, best asset classes. But there's no asset class like content, because content has sustainability, content has resilience. If your content is good, it will make you revenue even after 10 years. So when viewers who are retail investors, you guys, you like to invest into all sorts of best asset classes. Why don't you want to invest into content? And I know I give this example a lot, but Squid Games is a prime example, the piece of content last year which made the most revenue globally. You know, it was on the shelf for 10 years. For 10 years, no one picked it up. And all of a sudden, this piece of content gets listed on Netflix. And boom, it became a multi-billion-dollar proposition. So what MContent has been doing since we launched back in July is we're giving you an opportunity as retail investors, as viewers, to become owners of content using the power of blockchain and Web3. And I think we've done it really well. Our vision is that in 3 years' time, what I really want is that as viewers, whatever we consume in a day, all forms of content that we consume, at least 70% of it should be owned by us. If I'm watching a football World Cup, and I shouldn't hate the ads that I'm seeing, because I love the ads that I've seen, because I have a stake in that football World Cup that is being streamed, because I'm an owner on that piece of content that I'm consuming. And this applies to all forms of content. So, again, a lot of projects, I know, they talk about plans and ambitions. So MContent is an ecosystem which is already working. We've already had more than 11 productions globally. By the end of this month, we will be sitting at 30 productions. I'll just quickly share one of our recent documentary films which gained a lot of popularity so that you guys understand the quality of the productions that MContent talks about. I'll just play this.
Cryptocurrency holders should be concerned. Someone's got to stand up. I think I'm going to sue the SEC.
Yeah, so from documentary films to comedy series to animated series to a lot of short films, there's a lot of stuff that we've already done. A lot of stuff that MContent is already doing. It's been recognized globally now. We are at a pretty decent market cap as we stand, which means that there's a lot of demand. There are people who understand what MContent is doing. We have some phenomenal partnerships. We've got some huge institutional investors behind us. We listed on multiple exchanges. And I think the most interesting thing that you would like to see is that our product is already delivered. So we are the first fully tokenized content platform globally, which basically means that as a content creator, and this is to resolve one of the questions that I raised earlier, as a content creator, if you upload your content on the MContent platform, by the way, you can go to our stall, experience it completely now. It's on test flight mode right now. It will soon be going live on the app stores as well. But on this platform, as a content creator, all you need to do is just press that button, upload your content. From the very first view, you'll start monetizing. from the very first view, you're going to start earning tokens. And the same thing actually applies for viewers as well, because we're also monetizing viewers. Because we want viewers to be owners in this content. We want viewers to earn, which basically means that you consume and you earn. A small ad that we made, which is going to be launched next week throughout the world. This explains what the MContent platform is all about, so I'll just play it for you.
The rearview mirror is such a beautiful thing. It takes you back to where it all started. The passion, the energy, the drive, the potential to change this world. It all falls into place if you have the right mentor, the right platform, the right facilitator. Someone who will nurture your talent, provide you funding when you need it, and give you a global audience. I wasn't this lucky in my content creation journey, but if you're a content creator or filmmaker who wants to fast track your journey, just download the MContent platform. You can actually get funding for your dream project and, get this, start earning from your very first view. You earn in MContent digital currency, which has the potential to increase in value over time. The future of content is already here. Download the MContent app now.
I think she does a better job at explaining than me. So yeah. And again, speaking of the headset that you saw her wearing at the end, so what we've done is we've built an entire ecosystem, which starts from funding the content creator, which is his core need, to curating that journey, because we have a group of mentors globally who actually help these independent filmmakers produce the right product. Then we stream that product on our app, as you've already seen. At the same time, we also help them syndicate this content to the top platforms of the world. So the blockchain live series that we did, some of the documentary films you might have seen, we've actually syndicated partial IPs to Inside TV, which is a 300 million household brand globally. Currently we're in talks with Amazon Prime, who want to pick up this product for a few markets from us. So there's real syndication revenue that we create. And then lastly, the most exciting thing that we've done is that we've also launched cinema within the metaverse. We are the first company in the world to create the Cineverse. And what I'll just quickly do is I'll invite 2 volunteers from any of you. Just come up. We'd like you to experience the Cineverse right now, right here. So please, anyone, you want to come up? I think you stood up. One more volunteer. Come. You're coming? Oh, he's coming. You can test at the stall. Come test. Yeah, so we have 2 of our team members. I'll just play the video as well, so that these guys, while they're setting up the experience, you see what we did recently. We brought the cinema to the beach, and the idea is that the cinema can go anywhere. The cinema is not at the cinema anymore because it's scalable. We've used the power of Web3, and it goes wherever you want, including your TV lounge for that matter. And you can watch cinema with whoever you want to watch that with. You can be a group of friends, connecting globally, buying our NFTs, and getting into the Cineverse experience. Okay, so let's talk to these guys. So yeah, what did you see?
Yeah. Alex got record. Yeah. Yeah. I feel it here.
Can you select what you want to watch?
Yeah, I can see from here.
Okay, so I guess you guys get an idea that this is cinema which is scalable. While now there are some entities globally who understood the power of the MContent idea, the ecosystem, there are others also working on it, which is great because at the end of the day our vision is to disrupt the space. Our vision is to create decentralization. Our vision is to change the power centers, because whenever there are power centers globally, there is always bias, and that's a fact. In old ages it started with publications, then broadcasters, now you're talking about some big studios, some leading OTT platforms globally. But yes, there is centralization. Whenever there is centralization, someone suffers. So yeah, very quickly I'll just move on to some of the stuff that we've done. We are one of the few projects that has their own cross-chain bridge, which means that MContent exists on BEP20, it also exists on ERC20. We've had some huge partnerships, lots of influencers globally from the crypto space, non-crypto space have been supporting us, and we really feel that we will be able to fuel this content revolution that we're talking about. A lot of the global press and media has been talking about us. You will see publications like Bitcoin.com, Cointelegraph, Bloomberg, Yahoo Finance, we've been there all. And I think this is the real thing, because at the end of the day, the biggest problem with this space is that it is not asset-backed. Most of the time, most of the projects that you see, it's community-driven. At the end of the day, there is no underlying asset that is being created. Here, as fast as we grow, the faster we convert our growth into a real asset, which is content. So right now we're sitting on 11 productions. By the end of this month, we'll be at 30. By the end of June, we will be at 100 productions. Till now, we funded projects up to the value of $200,000. This month, we are funding projects up to the value of $2 million per project. We're going into different formats. We're going into the 44-minute series, which is the Netflix format. We're going into film. By next month, we are going into Bollywood. We're going into Bollywood. So all of this growth is being converted into a real asset. This asset is going to sustain its value. Regardless the market going up, the market going down. You will have, as an investor of MContent, you will have a base, because that base is backed by a real asset. And I think that's the greatest strength of our project. Some of the really interesting stuff that we're getting into right now, we're the first in the world to create a reality show about dating in the metaverse. And again, a global studio is doing this for us. We're getting into a really interesting format show which is related to women in football, especially in a few countries. We are starting the Global Super Drive, which is our format for covering the global supercar cultures in different parts of the world. We're launching our own NFT series for ownership of this content. We've already launched the Cineverse, as you know. We're doing another documentary series which is really interesting on the Web3 Wonderland, which is, some of these wonder kids from the Web3 space. We cover their life, and there are some really interesting stories. We're getting into live content. So Ultra Music Festival, Miami, I don't know how many of you guys know about it. So on our platform, which is going live very shortly, you will be able to watch the Ultra Music Festival live. So we're getting into live content. Now we're exploring sports. At the end of the day, as I said, the ambition here is to make sure that you as a viewer are part owners into all sorts of content that you're consuming. I'll just now end because I know my time is up. I see that time's up. So we'll just end with a video for you which explains the Cineverse, how it looks like. Some of the people were able to experience it now, but for you just to see what it looks like. I will be signing off. It was really nice being here, and thank you for your time and patience. Do follow MContent, follow our socials, search for us on Google.